This is Barnsley Bright Night, big festive weekend, online. Now a chance to enjoy a Christmas classic with a Barnsley twist, as Barnsley Museums presents A Christmas Carol with Chris Cade, filmed at Cannon Hall.
Ebenezer Scrooge was a tight-fisted, squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old miser. He was in the counting house of Scrooge and Marley one biting cold Christmas Eve afternoon. His partner Jacob Marley was long since dead as a doornail. Scrooge's long-suffering clerk, Bob Cratchit, was sitting at a desk copying letters before a small fire. It consisted of just one piece of coal, but Scrooge would not let him replenish it. Poor Bob tried to keep warm from the heat of the candle. Scrooge was interrupted from his business by the arrival of his nephew Fred, who came in and joyously proclaimed, "Merry Christmas, Uncle! Merry Christmas!" Bah! Humbug! What's Christmas but a time for feeling another year older and not a penny richer? A time for having one's books balanced and every item in 'em accounted for. If I could work my will, every idiot that goes around with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own plum pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. What's Christmas? Bah! Humbug. And yet, I suppose you'll be inviting me to come and join you and your family for Christmas dinner. You keep Christmas your way. Let me keep it mine. Good afternoon. No sooner had he gone than a gentleman arrived collecting for the poor and the destitute. "How much can you put me down for?" "Nothing. Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses? If they would rather die, let them, and decrease the surplus population." "I suppose you'll be wanting tomorrow off work, Cratchit." "It's only once a year, sir. All day." "Be off with you. But be back at your desk 9 o'clock sharp, Boxing Day morning." Scrooge set off home through the shadows of the night, as solitary as an oyster. As he approached the door of his dreary set of rooms, he thought he saw in the knocker the face of his former partner, Jacob Marley. Ah! Of course, on closer inspection, there was nobody there. Pooh, pooh. After a bowl of gruel, to save on fuel, Scrooge climbed the bare wooden stairs to his bedchamber. It was the ghost of Jacob Marley, come to warn Ebenezer that if he did not change his avaricious ways, he too would be condemned to wander this earth for eternity, weighted down with chains and padlocks and cash boxes, never to rest in peace. Marley would send Scrooge 3 spirits over the next 3 nights. One last chance for his... An angelic childlike phantom appeared and led Scrooge on a journey into Christmases of his own past. Why? That's my old boarding school. Look, the parents are here, come to collect their boys. Take them home for Christmas. All except for one little boy left behind. I know that boy. It was me. Nobody came to collect me that Christmas. Why, there's Belle. I remember that Christmas. I got down on one knee. Will you marry me? Of course, she realized my lust for money eclipsed any love I could offer, and she broke off the engagement before it began. A jolly giant dressed in green was the next apparition, inviting Scrooge to hold on to his robe and see how Christmas would unfold that very year. Look, there's Mrs. Cratchit at home. How does she manage to make such a feast on the meagre 15 shillings a week wages I pay her husband? So many children, so happy. One little boy has a crutch. A courageous boy, as good as gold. What's his name?
Tiny Tim.
But Bob never told me. If I'd have known, perhaps I could have helped. The spirit showed Scrooge 2 more children. Wretched, abject, miserable children, starving. A little boy, ignorance, and a little girl, want. Are there no refuges for them? There was to be no rest for the wicked. A third and final visitation, a spectre shrouded in black, who led Scrooge into Christmases yet to come. And the spirit led on to the churchyard. Row upon row of graves, but one in particular left untended, close enough to read the name carved in stone. Ebenezer Scrooge. Will I only be remembered for my miserly penny pinching? Back at the Cratchit household, I see the crutch leaning in the chimney corner without an owner. Oh no, Spirit, no. If I were to honour Christmas with all of my heart, could I change these shadows? I am alive and well. I am as light as a feather, as happy as an angel, as merry as a schoolboy, as giddy as a drunken man. I don't know what day of the month it is. I don't know anything anymore. Why, there's a little boy in the street. I say, my fine young fellow, what day is it today? Christmas Day? I've not missed it. Why, the spirits must have done it all in one night. Of course they can do anything they like. Young man, do you know the poulterers on the next street corner? He does. An intelligent boy. Have they still got the prize turkey hanging there? Yes, the one that's nearly as big as you. Well, I should like it. Not for myself, for a family I know. Come back with the man so I may give directions, and I'll give you a shilling. Come back in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown. He chuckled until he cried. What a fool I've been. Nephew, am I still welcome for Christmas dinner? Ebenezer sat down with his extended family and tucked into turkey with all the trimmings, followed by plum pudding and custard, jelly and mince pies. There was a family tradition. After dinner, party games. Blind man's buff. And who do you think was nominated to be it this year? Uncle Scrooge. Come in, ready or not. Oh. Wonderful party, wonderful games, wonderful happiness, wonderful unanimity. But the next day was Boxing Day. And Ebenezer Scrooge was in the counting house early, as usual. 9 o'clock, no Bob Cratchit. 1:15, no Bob. Scrooge's clerk arrived for work a full 18 minutes late. And what time do you call this? Making merry were we yesterday? Merrier than usual? Well, I'm not going to stand for this sort of thing any more, said Scrooge, hiding behind a familiar scowl. And therefore, I'm about to raise your salary, Bob Cratchit. A merrier Christmas than I've given you for many a year, old chap. I shall endeavour to look after you and your family. We shall discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a steaming hot bowl of punch. Now, make up the fires and buy a new coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit. Do you hear me? Ebenezer Scrooge was a changed man, as good as his word, but the last word has to go to Tiny Tim, who did not die. He waited until all the family were gathered together, and in his boldest voice he said, "God bless us, everyone. Merry Christmas."
There's more festive fun still to come. Visit barnsley.gov.uk/brightnights or the Barnsley Council Facebook page to find out more. And don't forget, the Winter Wonderland continues across Barnsley Town Centre until the 10th of January.